Welcome back to another episode of Do Not, aka Don't Start Yo Shit. I am the man of the hour, the host that do the most, King Himothy, the Him Reaper, Him Possible. No fears. All right. Sorry about the delay on episode 6. Had a few technical difficulties, but we are back today. And as you can see, I got my old college shirt on today, which is going to be pivotal because this is where the center stage of the topic for today's podcast is going to start. So we're going to talk about today is scamming, getting scammed. Excuse me. Now, if you've ever been a victim of scamming, you know that the moment that it happens, the feeling that you get, it sucks. Especially when you're an innocent, hardworking citizen, pay their tax dollars, go to work every day, pay their bills on time. And you just want to make a nice purchase for yourself, and you get taken advantage of, or even if you don't plan on making a purchase and you still get scammed for whatever reason, you get scammed without knowing. At least I was scammed straight to my face, but being the age that I was at the time, not ever coming across that experience before, didn't know no better. So as far as the scamming goes, for me, I'm going to tell y'all how I got scammed. And then I want to help give you some tips on what to look for, especially if you're making a big purchase, on how to not get scammed. Or what are the telltale signs you need to look for before you run into a scam artist. Now, my best friend laughs at me for this transaction that I made years and years ago. This was before I met her, by the way, but she enjoys, not gonna say she enjoys, but she she gets a kick out of this story that I'm about to tell, because she doesn't understand how it happened to me, which now that I think back to it, I don't understand how it happened to me as intelligent as I am, but it did. So, going into college, what does every young man want? Besides his freedom and maybe a hot baddie to do a few things in the college dorm. He wants some wheels. So, in high school, I would borrow my parents' car, mostly my dad's, and I got to drive to school a couple times here and there. It was cool. It felt good. I would get jealous of the kids who actually had their own cars that they didn't actually have to borrow from their parents. But nobody really knew. I'm not gonna say nobody knew. Nobody probably didn't care that wasn't my car. All I know is that when I pulled up to school, I felt like somebody because I had a whip. When you have your own whip, you feel like somebody. So since I didn't have a whip going into college, and I'm like, come on, man, I'm going into college, freshman year, young, full of life, full of energy. You know, what better way to kick off my adulthood than riding around on college campus, Northwestern State University, with some nice wheels? But of course, poor, didn't have any money. So it's like, how was I gonna get a car, right? Let me tell you how I was gonna get it. So I get to college, got my dorm, right? Pretty much gonna have the room to myself because my roommate was never there. He was in the band, so he stayed with his bandmates most nights. Northwestern, your little matchmaking thing for roommates, it didn't work out in my favor, because they do this thing if you don't already have your your own roommate selected coming with you. If you're just going to have a dorm and you need a roommate, then what they do is they make you take this test so they can match you with the best possible person that also doesn't have a roommate coming with them, and they'll put you two together. Me and my roommate couldn't have been the more polar opposite. The only thing that we had in common was the fact that we wasn't around each other. So I knew I was gonna have the dorm to myself most nights because he was gonna be gone. So I'm like, oh man, I'm in college. I got a dorm room to myself, but I ain't got no wheels. Say there was a baddie that wanted to come back to the room, but she ain't got no wheels neither, man. How am I gonna pick her up? How am I gonna swing by? I know there's ways to get around, but I'm like, come on now. You want to be looked at as a man. To be looked at as a man, you had to have a wheel. You had to. You don't want to be hitchhiking rides all the time, inconveniencing people. You want to be able to hop in your whip and go. So everybody knows college is expensive. I didn't have a scholarship. I had student loans, like most people. I had my had my loan subsidized, unsubsidized. If you're a college student, you know what that is. So I was supposed to get a refund check. My refund check was going to be about $1,500. Okay, cool. I think for that year, I really only needed to buy one book for one of my classes, which was $300. And that's a freaking problem. Why does one book cost $300? College is a scam, but go. So I was like, okay, if I get my one book for $300, I have $1,200 coming back to me to get a whip. So before I got my check, I started looking around for a vehicle for $1,200. That's the most I was going to have. So, excuse me. If you're from my era, my generation, there's this site called Craigslist. Now, if you know about Craigslist, then don't make me feel bad for what I'm about to tell you, because I know now. But I'm 18 years old, never been scammed, under a lot of stress. I'm on my own. All I'm thinking about is I need a vehicle. I'm not caring how I get it. I just need a vehicle. So I saw this truck on Craigslist. It was an Escalade. I don't remember what year, but I know it was. I know it was an Escalade for sure. And of course, this is how the universe was playing with me. The Escalade was exactly $1,200. Now, if you're a car enthusiast and you know how much Escalades cost, you know Escalades cost a lot more than $1,200. But it is Craigslist, and I know people are trying to unload stuff that they just don't use. So I thought I was getting a good deal, right? So I see the truck on Craigslist. I'm like, whoa, it's in my price range. It's spacious. It had pictures on there of the inside. No damage on the outside. The inside was nice. I was like, I could fit about 8 baddies up in this thing. Boy, I'm going to be on campus rolling. So I contacted the person, right? We chopping it up. We exchanging details. And, of course, me being an 18-year-old kid, I'm not asking all the right questions. All I'm infatuated with is the fact that this Escalade is $1,200. It's no damage to the outside. The inside is like it was brand new. And all I know is I needed this whip for school. Because right now, I'm walking like Moses. So we chopping it up. We agree on a deal for the truck. Cool. So what I was instructed to do, and I know this should have been the first red flag, but I didn't know, was he wanted me to make a purchase for the truck with a green dot card. Now, Green Dot is a prepaid card that Steve Harvey was promoting heavy at the time. He promoted it on his show. I saw the commercials for it. So I'm like, oh, Steve Harvey promotes this card. This is a legit card. The card is legit. So that's what he requested of me. It's like, hey, go put the money on the Green Dot card, and we can do the transactions with the Green Dot card for the truck online. I was like, cool. Right? Stupid. Not asking no questions. I'm just like, cool. And I'm trying to make this purchase on my own as a man. So I'm not telling nobody. I'm not seeking advice, right? I'm trying to go get it on my own. So I go to Albertsons, because that's where it was, and I see the Green Dot card. I loaded the money on that Green Dot card. Excited. I'm ecstatic. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so close to about to buy my first vehicle. And it's dope. Get the Green Dot card. I come back. I tell the seller, hey, I got the card. I'm ready to make the purchase. He sends me a link. Now, he is promoting the truck on Craigslist. But when I click on the link that he sent me, the link is for eBay Motors. I'm like, okay, eBay Motors was a real thing. That was a thing. I'm like, okay, he promoted on Craigslist. The purchase is coming through eBay Motors. I guess that's who he's selling it through. Cool. So I click on the link, and it pulls up the eBay Motors checkout for purchasing and all that stuff. And what I do is, trying to think that I'm really doing some research, I go on. I've been on eBay Motors before because I used to sell a few things on eBay myself, and I know there was an eBay Motors page. I had never really went to it, but I went to the eBay Motors page on a different device. I think I had a laptop at that time, so I went on eBay Motors, and I'm like, okay, the page that I was on from the link looks very similar to the page that's on my laptop. It's like, okay, it's what? It looks legit. I'm like, okay, so this got to be a legit thing. So I put in the card information on on the link that they sent me. I make the purchase. Goes through, right? Of course it does. Up until that point, I had been in constant communication with the seller of the vehicle. He was answering the questions that I did have, which wasn't the right questions now that I know that. Communicating, make sure I was still serious about buying the truck, just quick responses and everything. The moment I pressed that button and the purchase went through, radio silence. I hit him up. I say, hey, when can I expect to pick the truck up? No response. Okay. Giving him some grace. Maybe he got busy. Check on it the next day. Text him again or message him again. Say, hey, what's up with the truck? When is it gonna be ready for me to pick it up? I just need some details. Send me the details so I can come pick the truck up. Nothing. Now, at this point, now I'm starting to get a little nervous. Now I'm starting to suspect something is up. But still being very optimistic. I'm like, okay, maybe they're still busy. They've been communicating with me this whole time. I'm not really thinking anything's wrong for sure. So the third day come, message the person. Hey, I am ready to pick the truck up. Where can I come pick up the truck? Where can we meet so I can get the truck? Nothing. Now, I'm going to finally seek advice, right? So I hit my brother up because he's Mr. Know Everything. I hit him up and I said, hey, bro, I bought a truck from ad I saw on Craigslist. I did it through eBay Motors, but the seller has not been messaging me since I made the purchase. What do you think I should do? So he had me send him the link that I received to make the purchase. And him being the highly detailed and smart person that he is, he sent me screenshots of the real eBay Motors site. And he put it side by side with the link that I sent him. And he was like, okay, little bro. So if you see on the real eBay Motors website, there's this at the bottom. This link doesn't have that. So I don't know who you were talking to, but you got. They sent you a fake link, and they got all your money. And I'm looking at it. I'm looking at eBay Motors. I'm looking at the Craigslist seller. I'm looking at eBay Motors. I'm looking at the Craigslist seller. And I'm noticing the difference in the sites. They set the website up to look really identical to the real eBay Motors page. But when he pointed out the very major important details that I needed to see that wasn't on the link that I received, I was like, they really got me. I really got out here in these streets. Sick wasn't the word. If you a college student, right? First year, your very first refund check, you're looking to make a very important purchase. And somebody takes advantage of your eagerness and your excitement and wipes out your entire check. Hurt wasn't the word. I didn't know how to. I was sick because I had already showed my parents the pictures of the truck. Even they had their questions, but I was like, no, it's good. I've been talking to the person. Everything's copacetic. It's all cool. So when I had to tell them my entire refund check was gone, I'm not gonna say they were disappointed, but it was more of that vibe of "I told you so, son." And they couldn't help me because my parents didn't have a lot of money. I was basically on my own, so it's like that was it. I was out of $1,200. Like nothing. College student out of $1,200 that was supposed to be for a very important purchase. And when I tell you, because now I'm starting to get a little angry. Now I'm about to start my shit. Now the mood just switched. Now I'm about to start my shit. To take my money. And you know what? I'm going to address the person that did it too. I don't even want to say that on camera. I don't know where you are. I don't even know if you're still alive. I know that I say that a lot, but I don't know if you're still alive. But let me tell you this. To take my money and my hopes and my motherfucking dreams. I was supposed to be on campus rolling on 24s, 40-inch blades on an Impala /Escalator. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's emotion. I'm supposed to be riding in an Escalade. Instead, I got to drive my feet like Fred Flintstone. I went from 4 wheels to 10 toes down. You want to know the worst part about that? You want to know what my parents' solution was for that? Son, not that we're going to help you get a car. We're going to get you a bike. A bike! And you want to know the worst part about that? They stole the bike. Stole it. I had it chained up around the steps to my dorm. They cut the lock off. And I walk, just to picture this. You get home to your dorm from class. The bike is there. You go inside. You do your homework. You're chilling. Listening to music. Whatever. I don't even know what I was doing that day. But you walk back outside. Your bike is no longer there. You want to know what my reaction was? Millennials, you know the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I was just like Martin. I walked outside. I look around. I know my eyesight ain't never betrayed me. Technical difficulties, goddammit. I know my eyesight ain't never betrayed me. But something's missing here. Something ain't right. It ain't right. Where the hell's my bike? I walk outside and I'm just like, they broke me down to my bike chain. In front of the dorms. Where's the justice? Campus police? Where's the justice? I can't go nowhere with no fucking ties. Damn. That's exactly how I felt, people. That's how I felt. They took my truck. They took my bike. I'm walking barefoot on campus. Matter of fact, the columns, people who went to Northwestern, people who are at Northwestern right now, you know what a columns is? You know what Brookshire's is? How long of a road that is from the columns to Brookshire's on foot? Because I know how long it was on bike. I walked from the dorms all the way down to the grocery store, barefooted, crying in the rain because they took my motherfucking bike. Cause they took 4 wheels from me, knocked me down to 2, and then they took the 2 wheels from me. Now I'm with no wheels. Where's the justice? Huh? And I'm just like, and then I'm dealing with pregnancy. On top of that, you ain't got no wheels, but you about to have a baby. What? What are we talking about? I'm not ready for none of this. I'm just an emotional wreck at this point. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to call. This wasn't the era of Uber. You either knew somebody with a vehicle that was willing to give you a ride or you walked. I didn't know nobody. I walked. The dream of being the big man on campus, clearly, figuratively, was over. It was over for me. I got scammed. I got scammed. And it happens to the best of us. So, I say that to say, if you're going to make a purchase, let me help y'all out here. Because I don't want the same thing to happen to some innocent youngster like me without properly giving the tips. If you're going to make a purchase, especially a big one, ask all the important questions. Get all the details that you possibly can. Pay attention to the seller. Because if you're asking a bunch of questions and the seller's either getting irritated and defensive and wants you to hurry up and make the purchase, that's a red flag. Because any seller that wants to sell something, especially something for that amount of money, they're going to make you feel comfortable to make the purchase. So if they are getting agitated or don't even want to sell to you anymore, cool. Don't count that as a loss. Count that as you're saving yourself. Next, see the product in person, if you can, beforehand. Don't just look at pictures that they send you, because now you know that they can send you pictures of anybody's vehicle. Ask to see it in person. And if they really have what you're trying to buy, it wouldn't even be a problem. Sure, you can come take a look at it. See the product before you buy it. In the case of what I went through, if it's a vehicle, definitely go see it before you buy it. And if it's one that's running, ask to test drive it. Test before you buy. That's very important. Because I need to know how this thing rides. I'm giving you this amount of money. Yes, I'm here. I see it. It looks good. It sounds good. Let me drive it for a little bit. You can be in the vehicle with me. But I need to see how it rolls. Next, and this is very important. Always pay in cash. Always pay in cash. Do not pay with card. Whether it's prepaid, debit, credit, I don't care. Pay in cash. And when you pay in cash, have them write you a receipt. It don't have to be a fancy schmancy receipt. It could be a blank sheet of paper, and you write on it. I, seller, I am selling said product to buyer, name here, for this amount of money on this date. Sign it. Make a copy of it. Boom. Protect yourself. You're protecting yourself and the seller. It don't matter if it's just a blank sheet of paper. That is a legally binding contract. Get it in writing. Get a receipt for proof. Because if you get scammed, it's very hard. I'm going to just say it's impossible to get your money back. You can file a police report, but I guarantee you, they're most likely going to tell you, we're going to be in touch. Be in touch with who? Touch what? Because the only thing that needs to get touched is the motherfucker that fuck over me. That's who needs to be touched. Keep in touch. The police is not going to be a big help if you get scammed and you have no proof. That was my issue. I had no proof. Because I didn't have the seller's information. And after I made the purchase, they took everything down. That link didn't work anymore. So I couldn't even show them the official purchase because they took the site down. I didn't have a name. I didn't have a receipt. What was calling the police going to do for me in that situation? The devil. You see this right here? The devil was at work that day. I know they say God is good, and God is good all the time, and yes, He is. But he's taking a nap that moment. I ain't gonna blame that on my Jesus. That was on me. But yeah, with me, I was just used to like the scam calls. People trying to get you to buy something over the phone. That's the only time I had ever really known about scamming. You gotta remember the time, people. This was the fall of 2013. So I had never really encountered a scam like that personally. But it was definitely an experience. Big eye-opener. Most people say that's when I became tight. I did not become tight. I don't have a problem spending money. I'm just smarter with my purchases now. That moment taught me a lesson. And I want to bestow my experience upon you because I know there's people out there. I know there's many of you out there who have either fallen victim to a scam or have come close or have scammed yourself. And if you have scammed, shame on you. Absolutely shame on you. It was hard for me. I was broken at that moment. I lost all my money. I lost any hope of riding around campus with a baddie. I lost easy transportation to the grocery store with my bike. I used to just ride down there, put the bags on my handle, and get up and down the road. I had to walk to the store and carry my bags back while people from the school pass me by on that road and don't offer a ride. They will not offer you a ride. And as I'm seeing them ride by, I'm just filled with jealousy, anger, rage, envy, all that. And I know it was my own fault and I shouldn't feel that way, but that's how I felt. I felt like, why it didn't happen to them? Why it happened to me? Why I had to learn this lesson, but I needed to learn that lesson. I had to take that L to avoid taking that L again. So I looked at it as a positive, necessary experience that I had to go through. Because guess what? It's never happened again since. I haven't been scammed like that since. So it wasn't all a loss, but it felt like a big loss at that moment. So yeah. That was, believe it or not, people, that was very traumatic for me to share with you. Because I'm embarrassed by it. And if something happens like that to you, if you end up getting scammed out of money, I'm not even going to, you don't feel embarrassed because it's happened to millions of people. It happens to the best of us. Especially the way the real good scammers dress things up, it's easy to get caught in the lie. It's easy to believe something when you're in desperate need for something because people prey on your desperateness. I'm here to tell you that it's okay if you got scammed. It's okay that you didn't see the signs. It's even okay if you were made fun of after it happened. Because you know what? I can laugh at it now. It's a bit triggering, but it's also funny. A little bit. It took some time, but I'm at that point. I don't dwell on it. I've had a vehicle for a while now. So it worked out for me. Eventually, years later, like 2 years later, but it worked out. But do your due diligence to avoid getting scammed. Do all the research you need to do. Take all the time that you need to take. Get it right. You don't want to end up like me at Northwestern State University. Carless, bikeless, girlless, just full of sadness and bitterness. You don't want to end up like me during that time. So that's why I felt the need to come on here and share a few tips that you can take from me that I didn't do to avoid a situation in which you may get scammed. If you have been scammed, I would love to hear your story. Tell me what happened. You can hit me up on my social medias. You can leave a comment down on YouTube. Speaking of which, please like, comment, and subscribe to the page. I can't emphasize how much I need your guys' support. Please continue to share my videos with other people so I can get more subscribers. Most of my videos are more entertaining. I'm sorry if I wasn't as entertaining in this video as I've been in previous videos, but I felt like this was more of a more serious tone episode because I really did want to give y'all tips to avoid this tragic feeling that I felt, because it was not a good feeling. There was nothing to laugh about when it happened. And if I had just taken the steps that I gave y'all in this video, it wouldn't happen to me. So I feel it's my civil duty to pass on this knowledge and experience to the next person. the next 18-year-old kid trying to cross off some first on his list, on her list, their list. But that's going to do it for this video. Not a long one. Wanted to keep it nice, short, and sweet for you guys. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time on Lucky episode number 7. Thank you guys for continuing to tune into my videos, continuing to support me. I do it for y'all. Yeah, I do it for me too. But I do it for y'all mostly. Until next time, this is me signing off. Don't start your shit. Won't be no shit. I'm out.